Okay. Can a priest become a priest without marrying first? I know they discourage that.
Yeah.
But it's not a rule.
I'm here.
Daniel is asking, can a priest chooses not to be married? Do we have any unmarried priests?
Actually, we have all the bishops.
He means priests, not monks.
They are just very rare. Yeah, like it's not in our Coptic community. It's not preferable
We have
as the priest in.
We have a few cases in the bishopric of youth and some other few cases.
I know this is detailed, but if the priest who became a priest without marrying chooses to then become a monk because he was never married, is that okay? Like, can you become a priest and then a monk if you were never married as a priest?
Sorry, the connection is really bad. Yeah.
Huh?
The connection is really bad. I'm sorry.
I can repeat the question. So if there is in the rare case, there is a priest who is not married, can he then choose to become a monk later in his life? I know monks can become priests, but can priests become monks?
Yeah.
They can.
I think we have it only once, but also it's very rare and it's not preferable. But I'm not sure from my once. I want to make sure that it really happened.
Yes, he can, Abuna, but it's up to the abbot, up to the bishop of the monastery to accept him or not. Because usually in this case, he's older than, he may be towards the 40 years. You know, most of our monasteries do not accept people older than 30. They encourage younger people to be monks. But there is no one fixed rule, yani. Am I heard?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty well.
There is no one fixed rule. Yeah. Okay. So, can you hear me now?
Yes, Abuna, we hear you.
I'm really sorry, the connection is terrible here. I don't know why, but we will have the last two slides and hope it will continue. We have commands for the important point in the commands. We are telling the bridegroom that you are the blessed son who is supported by the grace of the Holy Spirit. So we didn't just throw you in the sea. You are supported by the grace of the Holy Spirit. I remember my my father and my spiritual mother, while putting the crown on my head during my wedding, he told me I have the crown of your suffering. So I really was astonished from the word, and I asked him. I didn't leave him. Tell me, you have to suffer in your life, and that will make your love very clear. And that is marriage in Christianity. You have to sacrifice. You have to give yourself to your family or your wife. But you're not alone. That's what he said. And when I read this command, I remember that, yes, not alone. I have the Great Spirit. So you are required to receive your wife at this blessed hour with a clear conscience, pure soul, and a full heart. Excel in doing all that is good for her. Have compassion on her, and always hasten to do that which will gladden her heart. If we remember those words, really, lots of things will be different in our lives. And then we have blessings. If you commit to these commands, you will have blessings. And others for the bride. Abuna tells her, and you, blessed daughter and happy bride, you have heard what was commanded of your husband. So you are required to honor and respect him, and do not act against his opinion and over what was commanded many times. Receive him with joy and cheer. Do not frown in his face. Do not neglect any of his rights upon you, and fear God in all your deeds with him. So the church really keens for the bride and the bridegroom, and they give some commands to make the life easier. Here in the kind of Sarah, but really actually what is what is great here in this example, that yes, she was obedient and she was calling Abraham master, but when she asked him to do anything, he did it. Like she asked him to marry, and he did it. She asked him to just let her go, and her son also with her, and he did it. So just be obedient, and then you will have everything in your hand. The last thing, both the bridegroom and the bride kneel before the altar, and the priest gives them blessings. And then we have the prayer of the absolution and concluding hymn and the blessings, and they exit with the chant, Our Lady the Virgin. So you are now the queen, like the church and like our great mother, St. Mary. And I want to ask you a question here. What do you think? Does the church have the right, the civil marriage, or not?
Does the church have
After knowing that the marriage is a kind of covenant? Sorry?
Does the church have a right to sever the marriage, you said? To cut it?
To refuse the civil marriage.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, after knowing that it's a kind of covenant, it's a kind of a different bond. It's not a kind of a commitment relation or a contract just between two parties. So it's a kind of bond. It's kind of love, very clear and very distinguished. And even it is clear in sacrificing and in giving myself to my partner. So it's really great. And what makes it more great, that it's a kind of a symbol to the relation between Christ and church. It's not just a kind of a happy relation between two and we are sad, so we have to leave each other. No, we have to complete in sadness and joy in every kind of, as we are one, not two anymore.
I want to add a quick question. I think this is my last. Many times I've heard some priests like caution the congregation or the groom and the bride about the celebration after. If the celebration after is like pure, like not a crazy party with, why do some priests still like frown? Why does the church frown upon the reception, even though it's sometimes like very pure and like كويسة, مفيش like no alcohol and stuff?
Yes, actually, I think the warning for this inconvenient stuff that you mentioned, the alcohol and especially if it is after the holy ceremony directly. So it represents that I'm, as a Christian, I don't know what I am doing. I don't understand what great blessing I had just now. So no, actually, we are not against celebrating. Celebrate and do it the way you want, but just remember that you have just got a great blessing. It's not a kind of just a ceremony and we finished it. It's not something official we have to do, but it's really something that we have to think about. It's something that is, I cannot describe it like sacrament. It's a sacrament, so I have to be very, very, very clear and very understanding what I am doing. But no, the church is not against the reception. If it is okay, as you said, without alcohol, without something that oppose what we were doing a while ago, and if the marriage in the mass in the morning, and then you have the reception at night or whatever, you have the reception the day after, do whatever you want. We want you to be happy, but be happy as a kind of the Son of Christ, His image. So do whatever you want.
One other thing I just thought of, I know I said that would be my last one, but is there a special...
Never mind.
So typically the marriage, there's this idea of consecrating the marriage, and that happens like that night or soon, presumably soon. The marriage does not have to be consecrated. Like a couple can choose not to do that, and the marriage is still as strong as if it was consecrated or not, right?
I'm sorry, just the line is a little bit bad, so I missed some words.
Okay, I will repeat it. So there's this idea in the West, or maybe in the East, that for a marriage to be official, the couple has to consecrate the marriage, meaning they sleep with one another. But I know in our church that not all couples choose to do that. Sometimes they live together but don't do that action. The marriage is just as strong if they consecrate it or not, right?
Of course, it will be stronger. It's a kind of, in this relation, I think the real sacrifice is clear. It's not just pleasure. So yeah, of course you get pleasure, but when you really care for the pleasure of your partner, not yours, so it is a kind of sacrifice. And this is the core of the love and marriage in Christianity. So yeah, they are married and they can live together without this relation, but it will be better if they have the relation. It will make the bond deeper.
But it's not required. It's not like required.
Actually, in the prayers, we hear it that one goal of getting married is to procreation. So
I understand. I've just
we have some examples. I know that they live together, but they didn't have the sexual relation. So, but also they are very rare, and it's not the rule.
Okay. I know some like very devout and holy people sometimes.
And if they choose to do so, they must agree on this before marriage.
Yeah.
It cannot be a surprise.
And I think, in my own opinion, it has not to be يعني ندر.
Vow.
Yeah, it has not to be a vow. Like yes. What if we live together and then I agreed at the beginning that we will live without this relation, and then I know I wanted.
So it's your responsibility as a spouse to be for your partner in that sense as well, so that should either party fall into temptation, the spouse can help avoid those temptations.